Hello and welcome to a little bit maybe later than usual recording of the 17Lands data review. In this video, I'm going to be looking around, seeing what the early format information has to tell us. I usually like to start in the the deck color data, and of course for another guild set, we're in guild set land, and perhaps the world is just living in it. But this is where we're at. So to start, we are in the all users bin, and we'll be looking there to start. And your win rates are Boros is your highest, and then Orzhov. Sort of the two good decks, and then everything else is sort of around average. So actually, a pretty flat format even for your average users. Win rate's 55%, pretty typical. If we go to top users 60%, it's pretty normal also. Best deck is Boros. Second, the because again these decks are not real. Like the top five, they're not. It's too hard to actually like make them happen in this format, really. Um, because like there's just not really enough like monocolored cards. But um, yeah, is it Boros? And it's a little bit flatter. Again, we see this with pretty much everything. Golgari is the worst deck. Sort of more clearly defined amongst top users, I would say. It's more clearly the worst. And you get Simic as kind of whatever. Now, if you look at Teamer, which is sort of like better Simic, usually it performs better than the other three color pairs. For the most part, I mean, not actually, that's not even true. Jessica is actually the best one this time, but usually Teamer performs well. But Teamer usually does perform a little bit better than Simic, just in general, on a on a fixing adjusted basis. Um, this is top users, five colors doing pretty well, but that's again such a small sample. Assume that for all users, it's not doing that great. It's not doing as badly as usual, but again, the win rate is just not enough games. Really, a lot of um, two and three color decks here, and it's mostly two color decks still. So it is insanely highly drafted by the general population and not performing all that well, and then this is Boros is the highest drafted and performing the best, so that's fine. Um, I wouldn't say Izzet is overdrafted, honestly. Like, if you just look at the top users, you're just gonna see, like, it's kind of a typical phenomenon which happens, which is that, like, yeah, I mean, the people, like, the streamers and the people that are actually good at the game will draft a lot of Izzet because it is a good deck. You can see that even here, it's still fine. It's not drafted as much as Boros, so it's the second most drafted deck, and that seems to be it's probably a little bit overdrafted in comparison to Orzhov, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. And we're starting looking at some cards. Usually we like to start with commons, and if we observe, it's all Boros cards at the top, right? All Boros cards. You get the Boros land. Pursue the Past, your number one win rate common in the set. No one could really have predicted that pre-format. I certainly wasn't saying that anybody predicting this would have a higher win rate than Elite Interceptor. Of course, in the opener, Elite Interceptor is going to beat you out there, but so Elite Interceptor is still a better card, and you can see it with the Elsa data as well. Although this is kind of an insane Elsa. For a card of this game and hand win rate, like both of these Elsas are a bit insane. The Elsas are going to be a bit inflated in this format because it's a guild set. So even though like this is a monocolored card, it's not really like you can only play it in two decks, and it is a card that like Pursue the Past you actually can play in more than one like deck because it is a card that fits well in the multicolor control decks. Your Rebel Rouser performing well, Johnny's Response. I'm surprised to see Johnny's Response performing this well. I guess it's just taken. It's finally people started finally not respecting it too much, and now it's fine. Mockery, Tome Blast, Wilt in the Heat, and then your first non red card is another removal spell. It's the Last Gasp. So, um, Potioner's Trove, an interesting one to talk about here, performing really well. So this is the best we've seen a Mana Rock perform, I think, in a very long time, at least in terms of generalized like game and hand win rate. This card's a house. This card is just very good. The multicolor control deck is a very good deck. This card basically makes that deck have an insanely good matchup against the aggressive decks. Um, I have won games in this format where I'm just at like 4 life, and then I just stall like the board out, and then I just gain back up to 15, and then the game's over. Like it's just that happens with this card, and it actually like certainly on my list of more underrated mana liths because the 2 life just really happens a lot and does matter. So Orzhov is kind of your other best like linear deck. Like the two linear decks that are ostensibly good are kind of Boros and Orzhov, and you can see that sort of reflected in their common performance. Um, got Custom Brilliance up here, Scatter. A lot of actually like somewhat high win rate commons. I mean, more not necessarily more so than usual, but does kind of feel like a little more than usual. Let's just sort by Alsa and see. So Last Gasp is your number one Alsa card. You got Wander off. So, just your black removal. Currently overrated. Not a huge surprise. That tends to happen. This guy I think is probably like would be properly rated if green were better. Green is fine. It's a fine color, and this card is good. It's just I don't. It is clearly a little bit on the. I mean, actually, 57 is probably close to like your equilibrium number in terms of his opening hand win rate's also just the nuts, so that's something. But yeah, I think this guy's pretty close to properly rated. Grapple with Death's fine. The nude is clearly overrated, so that's one that is clearly overrated. I think we can just observe that here. Terrific Expanse, love to see it. People know in this format. Tone Blast, you'll limit it, whatever. So to be a little more clear, we can start with each of the colors. Start with white. Elite Interceptor is your best common, and again, the mono-colored commons, they're not as relevant as usual, but Interjection performing relatively well for a trick. This is a little bit higher than you would normally expect this type of card to be. I have played it. It's a reasonable effect in this format. You do care about your spells targeting stuff, so this guy has been okay. Takes that inventory. Like all of White's commons pretty much are decent. Like all of these are playable. I've played like all of these cards, which is pretty rare. Like a color having this level of depth at common is pretty rare. Like 54% is a pretty high number for your lowest win rate common. And for top users, which is not going to have nearly enough data to like see this, it's 58. So it's it's pretty deep, which is not typical. Like I'm kind of curious if there's anything that really changes for top users. I would be shocked. It doesn't. Wait, hold on. Holy dude. Look at these numbers with like 1,000 games. Wow, that actually is kind of something interesting. Um, but yeah, it all flattens out for top users as it usually does. So on to the blue ones. So nothing as spectacular in blue, right? You've got Run Behind and Essence Scatter, your sort of two interactive spells at common that are fine, and Quick Study is fine, but really sort of like not anything interesting. I am surprised at Hydro Channeler's win rate. It's a card that I have picked somewhat highly. I think it's probably the highest also. Holy Archaeomancer. Why does this count as a common? It's not. Whatever. I have picked this like the most aggressively of any of the blue commons, and I'm curious to see if it has a difference for top users. Because. Not really. It's like, because the 60% for top users is average, so this is still like a maybe average to a below average card, and you don't really need it. So I should probably deprioritize that card a little bit more. Shout out to Procrastinate, another card that people are. Okay, yeah, no, yep, Scatter, sure. So blue, as you can see, unlike white, really has a steep fall off. Like white's worst common is better than Muse's Encouragement, right? And so certainly the blue two-color base decks are not going to be as effective, right? You're like you're just not going to have the same level of depth. So and people are going to be contesting the white ones more because they're stronger, right? And so you have the idea that like you can still make a functional deck with white cards, like white commons that are kind of bad. With the blue commons that are kind of bad, they're really bad. Like there's no this guy's win rate being 52%. I mean, that is actually kind of surprising. That is a little surprising. Because played with this guy multiple times, and he's okay. But yeah, so you need to really be in the tempo space. All right, black removal spells, cost of brilliance, performing very well. Not a surprise. Card advantage matters, and targeting a creature matters. So it turns out this card is just good. Its Alsa is also too low, so this is probably if you are drafting black. Although I think black is the scariest color to get into because you're really like with black, you're really only drafting black white for the time being. I do think green black is a deck you can draft, but it's really like not on arena ladder. Like I just don't think on the arena ladder you can draft green black. It's just not really possible. Is there anything that's like super exciting down here? Look at this. I mean, this right here, and I harped on this in the set review. This is the boomer check card. If people were telling you this card was going to be good pre-format, I'm just telling you, man. Like these cards are dead. Like they're not, they're not real. Like it's just not a real card anymore. So I think we've seen this before with Wizards. Like they'll keep printing a card template, despite it like really just not being a thing anymore. And eventually they kind of get the memo with this type of stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. This thing is atrocious. This card is just truly garbage. There are some true garbage ones in black. I do think for your top users, anything interesting? No, it's the same. It's the same nonsense. Okay, fine. Red. Rebel Rouser, your best red common. This is the first time in a while that we've seen a creature be red's best common. Usually it's a removal spell. So Rebel Rouser, quite good. And it is a quite good card. There's no denying it. It goes in every red deck. I would still take Tome Blast over it. I would take Mockery over it. I'm not sure I would take Mockery over it. Although Mockery has a higher win rate than Tome Blast. But the openers are the same too. Probably supposed to take copy number one. Probably supposed to take this. I don't think you're supposed to take this over these. I refuse to believe it. Maybe you're supposed to though. Worth noting that Heated Argument has like the highest win rate for a 5-mana deal 6 we've seen in a long time. That is something to note. Ancestral Anger I think is good, but we're just like people just aren't using it well. Yeah, yeah, and I mean genuinely. I don't have a whole lot to say about red. Green, Barrage is fine. Newts, whatever. I mean green is pretty medium. And again, green is really a blue-green-red deck. So like only the cards that matter for team are gonna be good. So like this thing matters for teamer and this thing kind of matters for teamer, but if you're playing a spell deck, don't put this card in your deck. Like don't do it. It's just not a way to remove creatures. If you're like you have to kind of have the Newt Barrage package, and it's kind of just like not a good thing. Like it's kind of a bad package, but you can have it. It's just bad. Green falls off really fast. By the way, the last average common is the Newt, and that's like not good. So green is pretty bad. Like taking a green common at any point in like pack one is just like really a disaster unless you're taking this guy. Like it's pretty much not like I would never like literally ever start with a green common in this format. You should never do it. I think it's just like setting you up for a disaster. And onto the multicolor commons. Notice all the red white ones and white black ones are dominating. Not all of them, but the top of the charts is littered with the red, white, and white black ones. Now, all of the rest, most of the rest of these are medium, like medium to bad to whatever. You don't really need them. Um, This guy, yeah, like all this stuff. The blue red guys are interesting here because blue red. I think that's gonna not be the same for top users. Am I right on that? It just feels. I mean, no, they're basically in the same spot. They're basically equally average. But you can play them. They're more playable for the top users. They're more average, but does anything really change? No. Never has been. So you can just see like really the ALSA stuff. I mean, this is a huge problem, right? Like this is why like this is a disaster. Three highest ALSAs are all black green commons. Like that's a nightmare. That is why. So I assume this has changed. So I think you can check the ALSA. I don't get to see its ALSA. I only get to see its performance. This is also the wrong one to choose. I should really choose Bogwater Limerent. It's winning less, but everything's winning less. It's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say that that this has changed. Like usually this will get better over the course of a format, but you never know when it gets like this will probably never correct enough, right? Obviously, all the data from the format or a lot of the data from the format comes in the first like day, like genuinely. I forget what the percentage is, but in the first week of the format, you get at least 10% of the format's data. It might even be more like 25% or more. Like a lot of people stop playing the format after the first week, like almost no matter what. So your data is always going to be skewed to the first week, which is kind of why I like doing the early review because it's kind of like this is just kind of what the data is going to say for the whole format, unless you can really get into the weeds with it and like remove the first week and all that. Like if I whatever, so you can do that, but yeah. So Terrafractal, interestingly, like look at these Alsas, man. I'm going to jail. Visionary's Dance, I do kind of respect this also though, because this card is a house. But people, the children yearn for the Prismari, and they are drafting it. Holy colorless. Um, I mean, Potioner's Trove, we already talked about it. The card is just kind of broken. Like the other lands are all good. This card is like don't play these ever. But the lands are all good, and then you have Potioner's Trove, and Potioner's Trove's the nuts. I don't have anything really to say. All right, let's move to the uncommons. Talk a little bit about that. Now, here's where things get a little interesting for green, right? Talked about you're never drafting green at common. Like all the green commons suck. Two best uncommons are green though. You got Environmental Scientist, you got Snarlsong. Snarlsong is just a sort of its own deck. Like it's a multicolored. Like you're just playing Converge. Um, Environmental Scientist is just broken in any green deck. Arcane Omens up here. This is the surprise. This is a card that's a surprise, and really is. It does show you the character of this format. One, it shows you that the Converge deck is probably the best deck. That's not like unless you have like a rare in the two color decks, the Converge deck is probably better than that deck on average. And even for like all users, like you wouldn't expect this type of card to be great for all users. It's just insane. This card is just performing very very well. Obviously, the opening hand is not going to be like your best friend here, but like I don't know. At some point you do need cards that function in your opening hand, which is why I sort of like I'm a Tome Blast enjoyer. But Snarl Song and Arcane, it's undeniably a very powerful card in this format. Stress Stream, great. I would take Stress Stream over Arcane Omens, obviously, like for me personally, just a personal preference type thing. Molten Note. You got a bunch of like flatness in the 60s here. First average uncommon is like right around here. The Striker. So a lot of good uncommons in this. Even dual tactics is interesting at 56. Got homesickness. Rush off performing very well. Wow. This is negate. This card is negate with upside, and it's performing very well. It's very good. I do need to draft that card higher. Just a process performing pretty well. That's interesting. Color-wise, more green. It's definitely more varied as it usually is with this type of thing. There's more variants, less black. Like really not a whole lot of black uncommons. It's just the Scolding Administrator, and that card's drafted like it's freaking the best card in the format. And it is very good. It just you don't want. I wouldn't want to commit this highly to it. You know. All right, on to the colors. Let's take a look at the colors. For white, Pale Calamity, your first bonus sheet card. Very good. Send for stuff. So your two removal spells in white are good. This guy, hey, this guy's pretty good. The thing about this guy, I did not think that it would be amazing pre-format, but it's a 3/4 with word, and it's just kind of like the life. Actually, I think I did rate this somewhat reasonably, didn't I? I think I had a take on this. I'd have to go check my takes, but there was something there. I wouldn't have put it this high, but I wouldn't have put it in garbage either. So I think there's something there. Group project. This has been a disappointment for me. Obviously it's still a good card, but definitely disappointing. My expectations. Same with this guy a little bit. This guy seemed broken, but he's just good. Hop 2, it's fine. Primary Research is another disappointing card for me, just because this value engine doesn't matter at all. Like it doesn't. Like it does matter. Like you will lose games to this card, but for the most part, like the control decks are just going way over the top of this, just way over the top. So this usually isn't enough to like keep you in the game. There is a sick combo with this guy that I just had in a deck. Let me show you the combo. Actually, this is a sick one that I want to show. Hold on, this is not. Oh, has my 17Lands not been on? I have to go. No, it's here. Here it is. So this guy plus this is just you get infinite +2/+2 every turn. So you cast like the spell that targets, and then you make the Inkling, and you just combo people, and it's sick. This deck was like not good, by the way. I didn't think this deck was very good. It won 5 games somehow. Couldn't really figure out how that happened. 3 of the games were just like I drew these 2 cards, my opponent didn't kill them, and they just died instantly on the next turn because I just comboed off. So that random deck aside there, that does happen. It's gonna happen sometimes. So yeah, that guy not very good, but he does have combos. For the top users, anything interesting? There's not usually enough data, but still the 2 removal spells at the top. And Group Project performing a lot better for top users, actually. Wow. Yeah. Relative to the other. Anyway. Yeah, let's move on to blue. Stock it up, of course. This guy, we got. Wow. This is truly. I mean, this is truly the ultimate opening hand test card, right? Like this card, is truly like, hey, you can't play. You can't play 2 copies of this. I don't think ever, but it is undeniably a powerful card that does work and wins a lot of games. So I do think it's good. You've got this thing. This thing's fun. I don't know how these get determined when they're uncommons or commons. Flow state, deduce. I love deduce. I will always personally overrate deduce. I don't even know about overrate. Deduce for me, when I draw this card, I win the game. Like I simply don't lose when I have deduce in my like hand. I never lose. I mean it does happen, but it's just like I don't know what people are doing with this like card. I genuinely don't know. The card is like broken to me. Deduce to me is one of those cards. Actually, all users, what is Deduce's win rate? It's the same. It's basically the same for top and all users. But for me, for some reason, I wish I could see like my personal stats with Deduce. I don't. I'm not a paying customer of 17Lands, so I'm not doing that. I'm just here to support them content wise and by shouting out the platform. But anything interesting down here? Muse Seeker. This is an interesting one. So this card has been pretty bad. It's a card that I expected to be quite good and has been pretty bad. Alsa's also 455. So I think can probably just put this one away in the bad category. It fulfills that like thing that like a lot of times these creatures have problems with, where it's like, oh, this is the creature that like I have in my deck, and then my opponent uses their removal spells to kill it, and like I don't have other creatures, so they just get to basically draw a card when they kill it, which is not the best. Fractalize, I was just wrong about. I liked this card a lot pre-format, and then I played with it on day one, and I was like, this thing's broken. And then now it's like I would never pick it. But I did I did play this card. Like I did, it was good for me. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, nobody's playing the card. I did play. I did was kind of good. I don't know. I would maybe run it again. I don't know. It worked somewhat well for me the time that I did play it. We got Arcane Omens. We got End of the Hunt. Another just solid removal spell. Of course, the removal spells are gonna do quite well here for black. Um, this guy, um, yeah, this guy. So this guy's very good, but the deck that he's in doesn't work, so that's a shame. Eternal Student has underperformed. Really, there's just no way to mill this card, like, at all. There's just no way to discard it or mill it or whatever. There are ways, it's just really hard. So you kind of have to play it and have it die. So it just isn't, it's not as good as you would think. Um, Anything else that's, like, interesting, particularly? No, all these cards were predictably bad. Leech Collector, maybe worse than I would have thought, but I assume it's because, yeah, the Elsa's like 455. So this card is not bad, but it's not this bad. But this is just, yeah, this'll do it. That'll do it. That will, yeah, and that's gonna do it. You have to have this card in my deck. People take this card very highly. Burst Lightning Braid, Artistic Process. Artistic Process performing very well. It's interesting because all of the modes on this are under rate, right? Like you can observe that. And I rated this like it would perform well, but I didn't necessarily believe it. It was one of those ones where I'm like, all of these modes suck really bad. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna believe that they're good together. And it turns out they are. They're good together. Um so Archaic's Agony is a card that is good, although it is also very weird. It's the Converge card that I think is probably the weirdest of them. Where like you really want to use it as more of a draw spell than as a removal spell, but you can sort of use it as a removal spell. The Strife Knight's quite good. This tablet is nice. A lot of good like red card advantage uncommons in here. This guy is in here. This guy's decent. Monstrous Rage. It's kind of telling how Monstrous Rage's win rate's only 57% in this format. I actually don't remember what its win rate was in Wilds of Eldraine. Kind of like similarly, in that format, it was kind of similarly like not a super aggressive format. So it so it was better. Cards were weaker back then, also, but a little bit better, which makes sense to me. This format's not nearly as about this. The Soloist, not really a thing. I have been owned by this card multiple times. I do think this is a good sideboard card. I don't know about good, actually. I think it's okay. It's it's a card that if your opponent knows you have it, it is just atrocious. I can't believe this card has a win rate above at 50%. That seems high to me, but you know, the this thing was just awful. So yeah, that was yeah. The sloth is one of the more I've like this card just goes late sometimes. I don't know. Like it's just a good card, but it's also in green. Green is the weirdest color because in green, like it has all these good uncommons. We're kind of back to how green used to be. Like we're living in the past with green here a little bit. Where like green historically was like, oh, we have like all these great green uncommons, and then all the commons suck. And it was like you can't actually play this color, and we're kind of back there again. Um, so interesting. to be their knockout maneuver. You've got Royal Treatment, this thing that nobody's ever played, the Roots. Roots is performing a lot better than in the last set, just because ramp and fixing matter a lot more. Like, that is what is going on. This guy is kind of okay. I don't know. It's sort of weird. I don't know why it's there. Oh no. Dude, this Chthonian tackle. Chelonian tackle. This card, I just don't know why they printed it. I legitimately could not tell you what the thought process was behind printing this card. I don't really want to get into deep into it, but it just was like I didn't really get it at any point. All right, bunch of red, white, and some black cards in here. Yeah, a lot of good white black uncommons. So white black, realistically, you really want to be in there for the uncommons, right? You want to be in white black and get the uncommons and have them come to you a little bit late. But the thing is, people are on it. Like, people know this card's good. This card's freaking good, man. Like these guys, like they're taking like pretty much like reasonably here. So something to note. Anything Quandrix Charm. Quandrix Charm, my beloved. Almost correct on my take. Almost correct on my take, but not really even almost correct because Silver Quill Charm is just the best one. But we were so close. I was so close to being the guy. I was so close to being the guy from the thing where I was like, I get to be like Quandrix Charm. Quandrix Charm is the best one. Because it was my prediction for the best one. It's not the best one, the Prismari one, or the Prismari, but it is better than the Prismari one, which nobody other than me would have told you. So shout out to me. Shout out to me being right in this one particular instance and wrong in many other instances. Cuboid Colony kinda sucks. Is something that I've noticed. Like, this card is just like super medium. Like, this card is just an Omega Hyper Medium. I would not pick this card like ever really. Um Speaking of Hyper Medium. I think Mind Roots is good. I don't think it's like busted or anything, but I think the card's good. Anything to say about these? I have another series of licenses to revoke, and it's the licenses of the people who told you this card was good pre-format. Anybody telling you this whale was good pre-format, you gotta revoke their license. Gotta revoke it. This card was just, yeah, there's just no way. Simply no way. Um, Anything in the colorless land? The bus, yeah, the bus is here. This thing, a lot of good, reasonable colorless cards, honestly. Diary of Dreams is good. I don't know what people are doing. This card's the nuts. I don't. It's a bad but not quite as bad card for top players. I don't know. This card's the nuts. I genuinely have no idea what people are doing. The card is very good in the deck that wants it. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else. All right. Well, we'll do a little look at the rares and mythics. Um, Best card in the set together is one. I mean, Converge. I mean, this card is very busted. There's no denying it. So it is a Converge card and all that. Practiced Offense, a card that I thought was terrible and is just broken. Maybe one of these days I'll learn with these type of effects, but probably not today. This is another one that I did think was broken and is broken. Arc of Hunger, another one. So a lot of like white broken mythic rares up here. Got this guy. Got this guy. We got this. This is the best of these ones. Interestingly. Yep. This guy. Crackle's very good. There is kind of a deck in this format that's just like draw, crackle with power, win the game. Like, there's a couple of cards in this format where it's like, oh, if you have this card, you just win. I think, yeah, Math Magics. So Math Magics and Crackle with Power, you can just make that your deck, and then you just win when you have it. This guy. This guy is probably the only reason I would draft green-black at this current juncture. It's probably the only reason I would be like, yeah, I'll draft it, just to play that guy. Remand is much better in this format than in the past. Is there really anything interesting? All the broken cards are broken. Yeah, a lot of broken cards. Alright, that's pretty much it, honestly. I'm in terms of like format stuff to talk about, kind of gone over a bunch of it. Could look at the format speed. I actually haven't looked at the format speed at all. They've changed the format speed page. I now understand nothing. Holy readability. All right. Yeah, let's just compare it to the last 5 sets. That's fine. Could do all of them. Like 5 latest, I think it's fine. Usually all. Oh, look at this. Got 5 fastest, 5 slowest. Look at this. So here we are. I don't know why. Here it is. I don't know why it doesn't have the thing. So being on the draw is very, very normal range. Nothing super interesting. Honestly, like extremely mid in terms of its. Don't want cube in here, but powered cube ruins everything. There we go. It's like somewhere around here, right? Yeah, here it is. Where's original Strixhaven? It's got to be faster than original Strixhaven. I don't remember where original Strixhaven is. Would have thought it'd be somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's up there. Yeah. Here's original Strixhaven. So it's definitely a faster format. I mean, they just don't make slower formats anymore because they have made cards too strong. So, you know, it's not really. I mean, honestly, like genuinely, if you want to talk about like the best like format like design wise over the last 2 years, it's genuinely Foundations. Like Foundations is the format from a pure like coin flip like if you want to have like formats with the balance of play draw win rate and turn length to be what Magic players would consider to be good or better, Foundation's power level is what you need. And so that's, people, it's not what people want, right? It's not what the people want. So look at the turn length. Holy! All right, we'll just do the just give me the 5 latest. Um, how fat is his tail? Holy 20 plus turns. Interestingly, not happening as much in this format because the game you just die. Yeah, actually like a very medium speed format. Like, very medium speed. Interesting. Alright, well that's it. That's it for the video. Thank you for joining me. Um, fun to always look through this stuff, and I will see you in the future.